Hello, Coach Jim McNally. This is Coach Dick LeBeau, your old coaching pal for many years in the National Football League. I have a message for you today from myself and a pretty good friend of yours. He clued me into some neat information on you, pal. And I get to congratulate you on your success on Twitter, which doesn't surprise me at all. But with your podcast and following of over 11,000 people and growing daily, I can say this: those people couldn't have a better instructor. They couldn't get a more knowledgeable coach, a man who has spent his life in football, college and professional, playing and coaching, and I've never seen a man more involved in his job than you, Jim. And I think it's great. Congratulations. You and I first got together in 1980 when Forrest Gregg hired us to coach on his first Cincinnati Bengals staff. And that's about 43 years ago, pal. And that goes back a couple miles. I was very impressed with the way you approached your position, the offensive line coach, the enthusiasm that you had, the teaching aids that you had, the thought that went into your presentation of what we were doing on offense. I have never forgotten that, and now I'm sure that is some of the stuff that you're passing on to the people that watch your podcast, the CFC podcast, or I should say the CFC podcast. They got one of the best instructors going, man. I remember it was your first professional coaching job, and I'd already played 14 years and been coaching about 10. So I was watching around, and I was a little bit worried about you, but I thought maybe you were getting that faraway look in your eye where you was thinking about heading back to college. And one day we came in to work, all of us, and we found that the offensive coordinator on the new staff, he went back to his college job. So I suspected one of you was going, but I didn't think it was him. I got to be great friends with you and earned a lot of respect with you. You put together some of the best offensive lines that have ever played the game. And I think Anthony Munoz is one of the most outstanding players that I've ever seen, offensive tackles. And he can thank you to a certain degree. You contributed very much to his success. One thing that you helped me, I never realized, excuse me, you broke that step by step down, everything that your guys were supposed to do. And I realized that the game in the line existed in a little cubicle, really, that was about 3 feet by 3 feet. And those first couple steps were paramount to success for the offensive lineman. And you focused on those types of things. I was always a defensive guy and a defensive back coach. And for us, the whole game is in a radius of yards and angles. And one little step of an inch, you can make that up in the next 2 steps. And the whole coaching process is completely different. And it made me realize what a team game football is and how much each person, like a 300-pound lineman and a 195-pound DB, how different their assignments are and the jobs that they have to get done. But in order for that team to be successful, each one got to do their job and do it to a pretty high level. A lot of the teams that we coached on got that done, Jim, and I'm proud of that. I think that the people who listen to you are going to learn. They may not know this, but you were a daggone good player yourself, and you had to learn technique and everything about the angles of the blocking situations in the offensive line because you were the biggest guy on the field by a long shot. but you were a great competitor and tough as hell. And those are characteristics that have stood you in good stead throughout your career. I think I welcome this opportunity to say hello to you. I'm thinking about looking in on your podcast myself, man. Offensive line is not my strongest suit, as you know. I give my love to your family. It's been a long time. I hope everything's all right there. You're a great motivator and a great instructor. You can help anybody who wants to learn a little bit more about football in general and offensive line play in particular. I think the world of you, pal. I once was out scouting, coaching a player coming up for the draft, which we're in the middle of right now. And we got talking about you as a place where you had coached before. And he said, Dick, he said, I can tell you some stuff about Coach McNally you wouldn't believe. I just looked at him and said, I'll bet you can't do that. Best of luck to you, Jimmy. Go football, go O-line.